Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Excuse me, everybody can hear me? Please confirm.
Okay, good, Mr.
Okay.
Hafiz.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Suryo, for the confirmations. My name is Hafiz Sofiani. You can call me Hafiz. Today, I will be the moderator for this summer course session in this afternoon in Indonesia and different time maybe in different country. And before we start our discussion today regarding the nation economy and dependency, the role of holistic accounting, I would like to share the curriculum vitae of our guest speaker today, uh, namely Dr. Suryo Pratolo. Just for your information, he was graduated in bachelor and master degree in the Universitas Gajah Mada in 1991. I'm sorry, 1999 and 2001 respectively. And then he was continuing his PhD in the Universitas Pajajaran Bandung and graduated in 2006. Dr. Suryo has published many reading books, especially for the topic public sector accounting. He was also certified by Indonesian Chartered Accountant and also a public accounting expert in Indonesia in 2011. So to short the time for the discussion today, we'll give the time for Dr. Suryo, maybe around the maximum time is 1 hour. And then we will continue with discussion or Q&A. For the attendant, you can raise your hand in the Zoom feature to offer the question, or maybe you can chat in the chat button in your screen. Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Suryo Pratolo, time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Mas Hafiz or Mr. Hafiz. Check for the sound for me. It's okay for the participants, Mas
Yes,
Hafiz?
Doctor.
Okay, thank you. And Mas Dimas or Pak Dimas, may I use my share screen by myself?
Yes, please, Doctor. You can directly.
Okay, I will share. Okay, are everyone can look at my PowerPoint?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, I will. Okay, go to view. Okay, all of the participants that I hope all of you have a good condition, in this afternoon in Yogyakarta, maybe morning in other countries. Now, we will discuss about the economy in the relationship with the accounting. Maybe this is quite different with the discussion before with others center. Okay, Mas Hafiz have introduced myself, and we will continue to our topic, the nation economy independency, the role of holistic accounting. I am want to share with all of you with this topic because now in Indonesia still celebrate the Independence Day. And it is, I think it's okay for us to discuss the Independence Day with the economy independency. But in this opportunity, we will looking at in the perspective of accounting. Okay, I will continue to the other screen, other PowerPoint. Okay, this is about the economy in my point of view. That the economy is like a plane that have two engines. The first engine is the consumption, and the second one is production. If the one of the engine is not work, okay, maybe the plane can fly, but I think it is not balanced. So we hope that this plane have to work engine, the consumption engine and the production engine. So that is the condition of the economy. The economy needs the supporting engine, the consumption engine, and the production one or production engine. It must be balanced. Okay, I will show about the synchronous of the two engine, the production and consumption engine. Maybe this is our people in our nations. There are so many people in our nation, in Indonesia or in other country, and they will consume and they will produce the product or the services. For example, the people produce the production, the farmer production like the rice and etc. So this is the production must be followed by the consumption. So we are as a people consume the production of our self production and consumption. We consume this production followed by share the resource, share the money that received by the farmer or the production. And then the rice will consume by the people of the nation, and the money will be received by the people of the nation also, received by the farmer. For example, this is the condition of the balancing engine. The production engine is working well, and the consumption engine is working well also. This is the one example of the products. Maybe the other example in the services. We are as the people give the services, maybe a teacher or a lecturer give the services for the people, for the students. This is a production. And then the people also receive the service, and because the people receive the service by the teacher, by the lecturer, they will pay or they will consume and share the money to the production of the service for the teacher, for the higher university or for the school. Okay, and then this money will consume by our people. This is the example of the balancing engine. that the production engine and the consumption engine, like what I said before in the concept of the plane, the production engine is work well, and the consumption engine is working well also. Now we will turn into the other case, that the case is shown the asynchronous of the two engine. This is the asynchronous from the example. Maybe this is our people and produce the product, and then we consume and we share the money to the farmer, to the producer. But unfortunately, maybe and there is or there are any other entities that produce the same product, maybe in the other nations or maybe in the other entities that sell the same or produce the same product. Okay, maybe they produce rice also, like the farmer in our countries. And unfortunately, if we shift the consumption, the first we consume our production, and then we move or shift the production into the other entities that produce this same production. This is can followed by the asynchronous or imbalancing economy. Maybe like this. I will continue. After we consume, we will share the money into the other entities. So the problem is if our people cannot produce the same product and sell to the other countries. Okay, this is the condition that our farmer or our industrial in rice maybe cannot sell to the other entities, cannot sell to the other countries. So it means that the money is leak. The money is leak, or I always use the concept of bleeding. The money is bleeding because the money is moving out to the other entities, not to our countries. And the terrible conditions, we need much money to fulfill our needs, and because of the leaks of the money, maybe we have debt, we trapped in the debt from the other entities. Okay. Finally, we have the debt because we are not consume our production. We are consumed to the other entities' production, but we are not sell our production to the other entities. Okay, we only import and not export. The import is highest than the export. This is the asynchronous, or the engine of the production and engine of the consumption is not balancing. So this is, we all know that will make so many problems. Maybe some dependency between the country to the other country, one entities to the other entities. Okay, this is the background that now we will think, we will do the something to make our countries, make our entities balance in this two engine, production and consumption. Okay, I think that is the background where I interest to share with all of you about the independency, about the economy independency, because so maybe so many countries they face these conditions. the import is higher than the export. So there are problems in the economy independency. Now we are as the people of the nation must think, must do something to make it better. Okay, what we need after we look at the background, now we have to discuss upon the solutions. And now we maybe talk into the other point of view. We are talk about the business, about the management, about the accounting to make over the terrible condition in economy. Okay, of course we need the competitive advantage, maybe in the nation or maybe in the entities, maybe in the private sector, maybe in the public sector, or maybe in the government. We have to make the condition in the competitive advantage, or we have to have the dominant competitive advantage, and we have to produce the product at minimum in our own consume, and we hope we can sell to the other to make the condition is better. The export is higher than import. The balancing engine. Okay, to have the competitive advantage condition, I think it's better for us talk about the how we manage our institution, our entities in good manner. So we need good management, not only in private sector, but also in the public sector and even in the government sector. Okay. So I make the relationship with the background to the concept of holistic accounting. So to be a good management in all sector, in private sector, in public sector, and even in the government sector, we need the concept of holistic accounting. And this is the main topic, the main idea of this discussion. The holistic accounting need to support the good management in all sector. Okay, the definition. What is the holistic accounting? Okay, I will share about the accounting. The accounting is the process to give the information. Accounting means explanation. To account means to explanation, to make an explanation. Not only give the financial information, but also produce the non-financial information, but the non-financial information have the relationship with the financial information. That is the holistic accounting. Okay, why we need the holistic accounting? Because we have to make a good management in the private sector, in the public sector, in the government, so we can make the two of engine, production and consumption, work well, both of them. And how? Okay, if we ask about the how, we will discuss on the next slide. Okay, this is the holistic accounting. The holistic accounting aspect, there are maybe 10 aspects. If we want to know about the holistic accounting, we have to know about the entity and the business concept. Okay, the first is the entity and the business concept. And then we have to know, it is important for us to know about the governance, and then about the basic management, about the ethic, about the management strategic, about the management accounting, about the financial accounting, about the financial report analysis, about audit, about the information system and computer technology. This is what I think that we are as a nation, we are as the institution, we are as a family. I think it's better for us to know about that, to make the competitive advantage of the family, maybe of the entities like university, like the school, like the hospital, like the government, or maybe for the nations. So we have the competitive advantage in the relationship among all the entities in the world. Okay, we will discuss about 10 aspects of holistic accounting in quick review. What is entity? What is governance? Okay, for the first, if we want to know about the holistic accounting, okay, I will recall that holistic accounting is about the process to give information not only in the financial information but also in the non-financial, but the non-financial information have the effect or a relationship in the financial information. The first is entity. What is entity? Okay. We must know about the entity. What is entity? Entity is the organization that have responsibility. Okay. There are two keywords. Entity is organization, the first keywords, and the responsibility in the second keywords. Why we have to know entity? Because the information, because the decisions must made by the entity, like a country or a nations or the high school or a hospital and etc. So if the organization do not have responsibility, we do not or we cannot call it entity. Like all of us, when we are in the 5 years old, maybe we are still do not have the responsibility yet. So when we are in the 5 years old or under 5 years old or under 10 years old, we are not entity. So we are do not given by the responsibility. Okay, and the second concept is business. What is business? Business is the activity of the entity to realize the objective of the entity, that the objective of the entity in terms of responsibility. Okay, entity is the organization have responsibility and the business is the activity. Like we have to make the two engine work well, that is the business, because this is the activity that we have to realize our responsibility. Okay, this is the first concept that we have known about the holistic accounting. The second concept is about the governance. What is governance? Governance is the value. Governance is the value as the foundation of the management action in business process. We have talked that business is the activity to realize the responsibility. So governance is the value as the foundation of the management action in business process. So the governance is the value. Like in Indonesia, we know there are so many good values like Pancasila. Pancasila is the value. Like in the good governance, maybe we have discussed about the transparency, accountability, independency, fairness, etc. That is the value. The honesty, that is the value, the good value. So the good governance or good value will support the good management. Okay, the good value, if we are, as our nation, if Indonesia have a good value, Pancasila, the ketuhanan yang Maha Esa, the only one God, and etc., the good value, we hope that Indonesia have good management. We hope, although it is depend on so many factor. But if we have a good value, we hope we have a good management. The value in governance, in general, including transparency. Transparency is easy to access. Accountability is explaining. Responsiveness and responsibility, independency and fairness. Okay, this is the second foundation, second aspect of the holistic accounting. So the unbalancing of the engine of the economy, like we have talked before, have the relationship with this governance. Maybe the recession or the unbalancing engine of the economic may be influenced by this governance. Okay. The third aspect, the fundamental management. After we have known about the entity and the governance and the business, we are now tuned to what is the management is, or the fundamental management. Management is different with the governance. The governance is about the value and the foundation of the management. And management is about the decision making. Management is the action of planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling. How to plan, how to organize, how to actuating, how to control. Management is what the president do in plan, in organizing, the cabinet, actuating, and controlling. If the management of the country is based on the good governance, we hope that the management is good in manner. But if the management of the country, management of the entity doesn't use the good governance, okay, we have predict that the management is maybe not good or worse. Management is about making decision, and making decision need information. Okay, this is the aspect that the accounting is needed for the entity, because information is needed in management, and all of the entity needs management. So because of all of the entity, the country, the nation, the school, the hospital, and etc. needs management, so they need information. Information resulted by the system and the man. Okay, the information resulted by the system, not only in the system, but the man in the system. Okay, the good information depends on two aspects: the system and the man in the system. That we hope the system and the man in the system will good if we have good governance, if we have good management. Accounting is a system. Okay, accounting is a system, and accountant, the person, the accountant is the man in the system. So in the holistic accounting, need base in the system and base in the person, base of the accountant. If the system and the accountant have a good on the best attitude, best governance, best value, they will produce the best information. We hope the condition is like that. Okay, that is the third aspect of the holistic accounting. We will turn into the fourth aspect. Okay, because the information, the accounting information produced by the system and the man in the system or accountant, we need to know about the ethic of accountant. The ethic is the norm as guidance for the accountant about do or don't for him in producing the information, in deciding the information, and etc. Good accountant will obey this norm. And ethic, we have to make an emphasis in these words, that ethic is the soul of the profession, of the accountant profession, in keep the public trust. So if the accountant do not do the best norm, it is will back to them in where there will be a trouble in the trust of public. This is the important thing, that the accountant have to keep the good ethic, so the public will trust to them. Okay. Okay, after we have known about the entity, about the business, about the governance, about the management, about the ethic, now we turn to the first aspect of management. As the good entities, as the good nation that have to make the balancing of the two engines of economy, the production and the consumption, so there is no negative spread. There is no negative spread between export and import. We have to know about the management strategy. Management strategy is the activity to make the plan, the best plan in the long-term, long-range plan, medium-range plan, or short-term or short-range plan. Holistic term of accounting must be started with the management strategy, because all entities use money. Government use the public money for the country budget, the nation budget. They will use the money as resources, and they must use in good manner. So the government or the entities must have strategic management as the responsibility and the responsible entity that use the public money. And the main output of management strategy is the budget. The budget is the money plan received from the taxpayer maybe, and how the government use this money to improving the quality of the country. Maybe in the private sector also, they need the budget as the shape of the output of management strategy. So the entities that know good strategic management, it is have the risk that the two engines of the economic will be disturbed about this condition, about the bad management strategy. And about the information upon the result of accounting, there are one terms of accounting is management accounting. Management accounting is the process and technique in producing financial information for especially internal need in decision making. So after we have the plan, after we have the budget, now we have to produce the information, the good information for the decision making, for the decision maker in making the decision, for the president, for the head of higher university, higher education, for the head of the private sector to make a decision. So they need the information, not only in the financial information, but also in the non-financial that have effect to the financial aspect, like cost information, like price information, like what the people needs, what plan that we have can produce, what the people needs, and etc. This is the information for the internal consumption, for the internal management. So if the president, if the head of the country, if the head of the entity give the good information in management accounting, we hope that they will make a good decision. So the unbalancing condition between the consumption engine and production engine will be balanced. Even in the condition like in our condition now in recession, we must need so many information. Okay, and then upon the financial accounting. The financial accounting is the information that serve to the external needs, that it show the accountability of the nation, the accountability of the management of the entity. So the public have a high trust to the management of the entity. The differences between this information, the financial accounting and the management accounting is this information of the result in financial accounting must follow the standards in terms of format, in terms of transaction recognition and measurement. The country, the entities must show that the information is valid, and the financial information is valid, and the public will give the good trust to the entities. After we have served about the financial statement, I think it is needed for the people, for the accountant maybe, to give the information upon the analysis of the financial statement, because maybe not all the people can read the financial statement. The financial statement analysis discuss upon the way to read and more deeply knowing the performance based on the financial statement. Usually, the accountant use the ratio analysis, comparing one value to the other value to the other one to show the condition. So the management give the information upon the financial statement analysis, and they will make a decision, making balancing between the consumption and produce the product, not in the unbalancing conditions. And maybe all of the information must be checked into the independent person. So we, in holistic accounting, we need to discuss upon the way to make a confirmation on the entity condition in terms of financial, in terms of management, in terms of existence of fraud. Maybe especially in public sector, okay. Especially in public sector, there are so many challenges in using the money. So we need in guarantee upon the no existence of fraud of the money, because this will disturb about the trust of the public, and maybe will disturb about the condition of the economic. So this audit process have to follow the audit standard. There is some standard for auditing. And the last is about the information and computer system. Now, to make an information for making decision in this era, especially in this pandemic era, we need some computer system, we need some internet, like what we do now. We do the webinar, we do the discussion using the computer, we do discussion with internet, and this condition we call it new normal. So we need some information system and computer system. There are some part of accounting that have characteristic of structure, systematic, and massive. If the activity have the characteristic of structure, systemic, and massive, it will disrupt by the algorithm, by the computer algorithm system. So to support our government, to support our nation, to support our entities to making a good decision in the relationship with the economic independency, we need to know about the ICT support. So we need it to implement the accounting not only in public sector but also in the private sector and even in the government. Okay, that is upon the relationship between the condition of economic that we have to improve the condition of the economic to be in the balance, not stuck in the debt condition. In order to support our government not to stuck in the debt condition, that we face the debt trap, because if our nation face the debt trap, it will disturb into the independency economic or economic independence. So our country will influence or will depends on the other entity that giving the debt. So as a good country, we have to making a balancing between the production and the consumption as good as we can. And we can make this condition realize we need the information, because the information needed by the management to make a good decision. So that is the importance of the accounting, especially in the holistic accounting. Okay, that is what I can share with all of you upon the concept. Maybe after this we can discuss more deeply about what we have discussed in this opportunity. Okay, I will stop our sharings. Please, Mr. Hafiz, the time is turned to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Suryo, for your presentation today. Okay, for everyone that want to offer the questions, you can raise your hand or turn on your microphone to give the question maybe regarding our topic today. I would divide the Q&A sessions into two, and every session consists of 3 participants that want to ask the questions. We have 30 minutes left for today's discussion. Okay, please.
May I ask a question, Pak Hafiz?
Okay. Please, Pak Dimas.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hafiz, for the time. Pak Suryo, I have some interesting discussion with you regarding the slide that you have shared previously. Regarding with the fundamental of management, you mentioned just now that there are 2 key factors that influence the management of a particular entity, whereby the system and the man. Could you please share for the UMY experience, Pak Suryo, how UMY applies and integrate those things into an very integrative and very good management system, so that we can learn from the UMY experience. Thank you, Pak Suryo.
Okay, please, Mr. Hafiz, maybe we can directly or waiting for other questions.
Yes, Dr. Suryo, you can answer directly.
Okay, thank you to Mas Dimas. In terms of the especially in financial management or financial arrangement in the UMY, we need two aspects like that we have discussed. The first is about the system, but the second one is about the man that they operate the system. In UMY, the system is built into two aspects, especially in the financial management. The first aspect, the first that we say before, the value, the governance of the financial management in UMY based on at least two aspects. The first is about the money follow function, and the second one is the value for money. What is the money follow function? This is the concept that the money must follow the function. So if there is no clear function, the money cannot be used. So to realize the concept of the money follow function, the UMY must have the strategic plan. And the strategic plan output is about the IKS or KPI, Key Performance Indicator, Key Performance Index, based on the vision, mission, long-term plan, and etc. That produce the KPI, Key Performance Index, and followed by the budget. The budget must have the high relationship with the KPI, breakdown to the all of the units in the UMY. Like I have said before, that the good system must follow by the clear unit, that is the entity. The entity is the organization like faculty or department that have responsibility. Because of they have responsibility, so they embed by the KPI, and after that they allocate the money from the budget. This is the first governance. And the second one is about the value for money. Value is we know value. In bahasa is nilai for money, uang or money. Value for money means we have to respect. We have to respect to the money. Why? Because the money is the what we call it amanah. The money is amanah from the student father and mother. Student parents give amanah for us in UMY. So we have to respect this amanah. Okay, that is two basic governance. So we make the system, the financial system, starting from the planning. We call it MASMUHA, Management Strategic and Accounting System for Higher Education in Muhammadiyah. Planning, budgeting, and we call it administration. Like maybe Mas Bagus, Mas Hafiz will get the money. They must click the SPP, SPM, and they have to responsible the transaction and etc. That is the system. But if the system do not operate within the amanah people, the good people, the good men, it is hard also. So in Muhammadiyah have to aspect to make it stronger. The Al-Islam and Kemuhammadiyahan. That is the value of the campus. Not all the campus maybe have the value as strong as Muhammadiyah. Every year, every semester, we follow the Baitul Arqam, Darul Arqam, refreshing in Al-Islam ke Muhammadiyah, and it is measured by the system of the SKP, Satuan Kinerja Pegawai. So that is what we think in holistic accounting. Holistic accounting not only say about how to make a financial statement. Holistic accounting talk about how to make a good information for the decision making in our entity. In terms of our nation, it is very important for the head of our every nation, the head of every nation, to get the good information to make the quality in serving the people, like how to make balancing between the two engine, the production engine and the consumption, like the UMY do, that we call it Beduk Mutu. Beduk Mutu is the movement how we eat what we plan or plan what we eat. We will achieve that. Like Mr. President say, in this pandemic era, we have to plan what we eat and eat what we plan. That is the movement based on the holistic accounting. Thank you, Mr. Bagus, Mr. Dimas.
Thank you, Pak Suryo. Very enlightening answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Dimas and Pak Suryo for the answer. Pak Suryo, we have another question from Nofilia Aisha. I would like the question for you. Pak Suryo, thank you very much for your wonderful presentations. It is very insightful for us. There are many types of strategic management to be implemented in the bank. Could you tell us how we can predict our problem or risks in a corporate and use a good strategic one? And the second question is, how to implement the right man in the right place in organization? Is it need a good, a proper and fit process, or only based on her or his experience? Thank you. Maybe you can answer for the first question, Pak Suryo.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Novilia Asianti. There are strategy in making the strategic plans to predict the condition. Okay, in every strategic planning, the main thing that we have to pass is about how to make the SWOT analysis. In the strategic management, we need SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is about how we can make a positioning of our entity. Like Mas Hafiz Sufiani, maybe that very expert in the research, talk about the state of the art, like the position. We have what strength we have, what the weakness that we happen to us, what the opportunity that we have, and the threat that will harm our position. If we success in making the SWOT analysis, we can continue into the strategy, to the tactic, to the so many instruments to use the strength and opportunity to push the threat and the weakness expectedly. So it is important for us to make the SWOT analysis. If you success in making the SWOT analysis and continue to the strategy and consistent in making the KPI, making the budget and control the budget using management control system, I think we hope the entity will better and better. But we need so many high effort about that. How to making the right man on the right place? Okay, the right man on the right place needs the first is the same thing, same concept that embedded in all of the people in the entities, like in UMY or in Muhammadiyah. We have to have the same perception about that. So the first thing is we have to have the same perception of the what is Muhammadiyah, what is the value of Islam, what is the value of Muhammadiyah. After we know about that, it is easy for us maybe to improve the quality of works, improve the quality of management, improve the quality of skill. Because it is, I have the experience that must choose about the skill and the value. It is hard for us to manage the good man in the good skill, but different in the value with us. So in my experience, it is better for us to make a same perception of the value. For example, maybe I am and Mas Hafiz Sofiani have a good perception of about the Islam, about the Pancasila, about the Muhammadiyah, and etc. about the value. I think it is easier to put or making the position the right man on the right place. Because after that we have choose the skill. Oh, must have his skill in the research, so I will put in the research department or something like that. But although Mas Hafiz Sofiani have expert in the research experience, but I am as a leader and Mas Hafiz Sofiani have different values looking at the concept of Muhammadiyah, concept of Pancasila. It is hard for us. So it is very important for the entity to make the same perception of the value. So the Muhammadiyah, the UMY, every year making a refreshing, making the Muhammadiyah refreshing to make the frequency is the same. After that, we will choose, oh, Mr. Hafiz is good in research, so put in the research. Pak Suryo good in financial management, oh, put the financial management. After we have the same frequency. Maybe this is the answer, Mas Hafiz, based on our experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Suryo. We have another question from Saiko Gasama. Okay, Saiko, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. I
Okay,
can hear you.
Yeah. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the floor. And thank you, Doctor, for the wonderful presentation. We've a lot as usual. Basically, I will give a brief introduction of myself. My name is Sekou Gassama from the Gambia, West Africa.
Welcome.
I'm currently in Indonesia here studying accountancy at the University of Erlangen, Surabaya. Yeah, so going towards my question, basically the topic is very interesting. You talked about the nation economy and then as well as the holistic accounting, and accounting, that's my area. To start with, first question, it will be the Indonesian economy. Basically, I'm an entrepreneur as well. I deal in goods, I mean, importing goods from one country to another. And I started it in Indonesia here as well. But that's a problem I realize is like Indonesians, like you've made mention of it in your presentation, like they produce their products for local only, like local people. Like I always want to buy products from here, but what I will realize, for example, shoe, the problem will be like the size will be more only Indonesians, and then the Indonesians and people in Africa are two different people, so the sizes may not be the same. So I always have that challenge to make sure that they put it at the international standard, so that I can be able to export products from here instead of exporting from China or other countries. So that's always a problem, and then I'm having that obstacle anyway. So I don't know what causes that. There are a lot of manufacturing companies in Indonesia, but they are only concerned about the internal population. So I don't know why. What can be done for Indonesia also to go internationally, because they have high quality products. I just think whether is it because the population is still huge, they have the demand they need within, or because the power of the currency or whatsoever. But maybe you can give me your side of response in that. And the second question will be with regards to the ethical aspect of it. You talked about the entire process of accounting from recording all the way to the auditing. You've discussed the length and breadth of it. But one thing is fundamental, and that I see very important, and I like the way you address it. That is the ethical problem of accounting. Ethics in accounting nowadays, anybody in the field knows that is very, very important. And the way you address it yourself is the soul of what accounting. So basically, my question would be, what do you think could be done to solve these ethical problems the accounting profession is facing nowadays? And this prompted me to talk about one of my research I'm currently working on, because for me, I perceive it like Islamization of accounting ethical policies could be a solution. I wrote an article which I'm working on. I mean, population is yet to be published. Yeah, whether that could be a solution to our ethical problem. And also I realized during the research that, maybe accounting ethics is not being taught as the way it should be. So just to summarize, I think those are the two questions I have for you. And thank you very much for giving me the chance.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much for your questions. Okay.
Maybe Mas Hafiz can make a
Directly.
point of the question. Maybe Mas Hafiz can make a point to point of the question of Mr. Saiku.
Yes. Maybe you can answer first for the second question, Pak Suryo, because I think the first question is about the macroeconomic problems about Indonesia. So that related to the accounting aspect. In the second question is about the ethical issue of the accountant. How to solve the problem about the ethical issue of the accountant. We can see from the many news and publication the ethical aspect of the accountant become a problem. And he said that several publications have discussed about that, especially about the Islamization of the accountant. Can it resolve the problem about the ethical issue of the accountant? Because as you addressed before in your slide, the ethical issue is become a part of the holistic accounting topic that we have to increase to enhance our economy independence.
Okay. Inshallah, I can the point of the questions about the ethical problems in accounting. Like what we have discussed, that the holistic accounting implementation needs two aspects, and the first is about the system, and the second one is about the man in the system. And the man in the system is include the accountant that they have to produce the information. And this there are aspects in making information by the man in the system is about the ethic. I think ethic is very, very important, but the problem is there are so many complex influence that the man is not consistent. The man may be trapped in the inconsistent condition to follow or to obey about the ethic, maybe about the so many problem or so many background, maybe in the financial background or the political background and etc. So I think the how we make the law enforcement. The law enforcement is very important for the people or the entity who make a regulation, because the ethic as the codification of ethic and the norm must support with the law enforcement. So many articles talk about the accidents, about the abuse of power, about not fulfill the ethic. I think it is so many aspects, but it is needs maybe the example for the support for the from the regulator support from our maybe for our senior accountant, for our senior people in making law enforcement into the good ethic. And on the other aspect, the component to support the good implementation in ethic is from the campus. I think the lecture is very needed to give the the enforcement to the students in making the good attitude, not only in making the task or the financial report maybe, but in study in class. In study in class, there are so many ethics that must be explained to the students. Maybe this is the challenge discussion about how to making the ethical is good in manner. There are so many people, not only the accountant, but also the regulation people, the people who make a regulation accountant and etc. Like the lecture teacher, like the university and other aspect. We must together to making the ethical aspect is can be done with every accountant, every people. Maybe like that, Mr. Hafiz. And about the the condition of our country, actually Indonesia have so many people that they do high consumption, but the condition maybe the product is not produced by the Indonesian people. So many product not produced by the Indonesian people. Indonesian choose or may import from the other countries. That is our point, that we must think, we must do something to make our people in Indonesia making a good production. At minimum, we use by ourselves, and we hope we can sell to the other countries. If Indonesian always use the production that not produced by the Indonesian people, we will face the unbalancing condition. We have negative spread between the import and export. We hope there are so many people that creative in making the production and export it. But this is have the relationship with the two aspects, the system and the man in the system. If there is a political will, for the regulation maker and etc., the Indonesian people have the power to make their own production and consume by ourselves. Plan what our eat and eat what we plan. Maybe like that, Mr. Hafiz Sufiani.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Suryo. Actually, Seiko has written the first questions. That is, why is that Indonesian manufacturers are only concerned about the local instead of international market? Is it because the population of Indonesian is too huge, Dr. Suryo?
Okay, why Indonesian have make a manufacture in local terms? Maybe
only focus to fulfill the local demand rather than for the international market.
Okay. I think the people of Indonesia have the potential good in creativity that so many university, the good university like Gajah Mada, like UMY, like Institut Teknologi Bandung, like the vocation, that they have a creative thinking to produce that produce the product that needs by the international needs. But I think not as simple as we think maybe, because so many aspects maybe in the political will of the nation, the political will of the regulation maker and etc. But we believe that the people of Indonesia have the potential creativity, maybe making the bicycle. Why we buy bicycle from other country when we not sell our bicycle to the other countries? Because maybe we need so many complex that give the political will to our generations to produce the product needed by the international people. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Suryo. I think it has answered the question from Seiko. Now we enter to the second session of the Q&A, and we already have one question from Irma Setiawati. Her question is, how about the saving in holistic accounting? Isn't it
how about the saving?
saving?
How about the saving?
Holistic accounting concept.
Okay.
Isn't it saving can affect the circular flow, maybe the circular flow of the cash, maybe, which you explained at the beginning of the slide. So how actually we have to manage our saving? Maybe the question is like that, Dr. Suryo.
Okay. About the saving, because if we have the money, we will consume our money, or the last is the save or saving. Like what our campus, the UMY 2, we can choose two kind of saving: the productive saving and the unproductive saving. We have to make a balance. The productive saving may be the saving that the save is about the project that will improve the money revenue, the revenue of the money. Like in UMY, the first time we only save our money in the unproductive manner. Like we save it in the bank, save into the deposit, and the money in the deposit that it will disturb by the inflation, the rate, and etc. That is the saving that unproductive. We have to change the part of the unproductive saving into the productive saving. So the unproductive saving will be used into make some project that have prospect in the in the future. Like in UMY, we make some apartment, some business. This is the saving also. So like in the family, if we have money, we have to save, because we do not know what will happen in the next year, in the future. We have to make a saving. But I think based on the holistic accounting that measure all aspects of the condition internally and externally, we have to make a maybe split the saving into two save. The first in unproductive, like the deposit, like the save in the bank, and we have to reinvest, that we call it the productive saving. Okay. Don't use all our money in consumption, and we will have the debt from the other. Please, we may use our money in the good manner, and we have to make a saving about a little bit to maybe we have to pay in the future, that we do not have the condition in the future. Okay, Mr. Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suryo, for the answer. Okay, actually, we still have 5 minutes left for our discussion today. Maybe another question from the participants, please. Okay, hatur nuhun Pak Suryo from Bu Irma.
You're welcome.
Setiawati.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Bu Irma. Okay, maybe any another questions? Okay, the time is 5 p.m. o'clock. If there is no question anymore, so maybe Dr. Suryo can make the conclusion for today's discussion before I close the session.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Hafiz Suhyani and Mas Dimas. I am very glad that can have the participant at this meeting for our discussion. in our meeting, we have discussed about how we use the accounting as the instrument to produce the information that if the information is a good in quality, we hope this information can use by the decision maker, not only in private sector, but also in the public sector and even in our government to making a very best decision in order to make our country better and better. Okay, that's all, Mas Hafiz. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suryo. I hope our today discussion will give a very beneficial information and knowledge. And thank you very much. I apologize for my oversight. And see you next in the next meeting. Thank you very much. Goodbye and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.